Hi everyone, my name is Courtney and I have this YouTube channel where I generally talk about my work as a yoga therapist, financial fitness, physical fitness, and whole food plant-based living. But today I'm going to talk to you about something a little different, and that is my experience as a long-haul COVID patient. So I work in the medical field, cardiology, and we are very, very careful. And I did not get it at work. Actually, my husband had an outbreak at his office. My husband is a police officer. He works in the court system, and they were careful, but I don't think everyone in the office was following rules to the extent they should have. And for whatever reason, it spreads easily, and he had a mask on whenever he wasn't in his private office, but he did get it and he brought it home to me. Now, prior to this, I was exercising about 150 to 300 minutes a week. I was hiking 2 to 4 miles every week. I was doing high intensity interval training anywhere from 7 to 20 minutes a day, 5 to 6 days a week, walking at least a mile a couple of days a week. Very, very active. I have been whole food plant-based for about a year now, and I've always lived an extremely healthy, clean life. I rarely touch alcohol. I don't smoke. I do have autoimmune disease, but I had it under control. And I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, as well as I did test positive for RA, but I've been able to control it with diet and lifestyle. And I had what was probably now considered a post-viral heart condition, which I'm finding out, I'm sorry, I'm really short of breath, a post-viral heart condition when I was 27. But in July, I passed all of my tests, super physically fit. I had passed all of my stress tests like a 30-year-old, and I caught COVID, and it just really has knocked me on my butt. So back in November the 6th, I was diagnosed with COVID. I stayed home for 10 days. I did not feel horrible. I did not want to get up and get dressed the first week. I laid around. I slept a lot. I had a sore throat. I had a really bad headache. I felt lethargic, and I had some chest pain. I was coughing a little bit, not a lot. I didn't have any breathing problems. About day 9, I started feeling normal again, and the only thing I could tell was I started having a little bit of trouble. I would get out of breath with exercise. So there were a couple of times where I'd get on the treadmill to walk and I had to reduce my speed or stop walking. It was a little bit harder. I had to reduce my HIIT workouts to just like 4 to 6 minute workouts. I could no longer do the longer workouts. And I just noticed that daily activities were taking a lot of my breath away, and I was feeling a little bit weaker. Fast forward to about 6 weeks, and I started having more trouble breathing every day. And the chest pains would come and go. So long story short, I call my doctor and the doctor I work for, and I go get checked, and I have an echocardiogram, and I was telling them I have back here, I feel like I'm being stabbed with a knife in my back from the inside, and I ended up having, I think it's called a pleural effusion. I have fluid in my lungs. My lungs are inflamed. The lining of my lungs are inflamed, and my heart is enlarged at the right aorta, which is the part of the lung, I hope I'm correct about this, that does the exchange of deoxygenated blood through the lungs and the heart. And so there's elevated pressure. So it's enlarged myocarditis, I believe is the name of it. And I'm having trouble. I get really breathless. My pulse ox ranges between 97 and 99, so it's fairly normal. So you can have a lot of these symptoms with having a normal pulse ox. I have never had fever this whole time. One day I went in and it was like 99.2, but I had been in the car in the hot sun, so I can't really say it was fever, because I go to the office to take my temperature every day when I walk in, when I walk out. So about 3 weeks ago, I go to my doctor. They discover all those problems. I have a really hard next couple of days. I end up going to my physician's assistant at my general practitioner. they do x-rays of my lungs, and it turns out that I now have bronchitis, which I think is kind of common with long COVID. So my airways are, my bronchi are all inflamed, and my heart, he could tell it was a little bit enlarged on the x-ray. So I have done a round of oral steroids, a steroid shot, a Z-Pak, a round of doxycycline. I'm on my last day of that. I'm albuterol inhaler. I went ahead and started taking my Singulair, my Advair. I'm also an asthmatic from growing up with childhood smoke and lung damage, but also I think that was a post-viral infection. When I was 27, I caught Epstein-Barr, but I had not had any asthma trouble since 2016. Again, I control it with diet and exercise, and that's one thing I want to really knock home, because you keep hearing people say that people who get COVID and get really sick have underlying conditions. Though I have some of these diagnoses, I was healthy as a horse. I was in some of the best shape of my life in July. I did have a wreck after that, which kind of knocked me down, and I had a concussion. A lady sideswiped us. We were sitting at a stoplight, and she sideswiped us from the side, and it knocked my head forward in the seatbelt. So I was a little run down from that, but I just think that someone like me who is super healthy, who eats right, who works out, I helped my daughter move last July up and down stairs like 20 times, never got out of breath. Pretty strong for a 50-year-old. And yeah, it's kicked me on my butt. I'm now taking all these medicines. Like, I have a bag full of medication. I've got a nebulizer over there. My lungs hurt. I'm really weak. Yesterday was a beautiful day, so I tried to make good of it and run some errands. I had about 2 hours worth of errands to run. My last errand was the grocery store. I literally got to a couple of times where I had to hold myself up on something and just was trying to be discreet. I was waiting at the pharmacy at the grocery store to pick up my medicine, and I was literally having to lean on the counter just to hold myself up. There was a chair there. I took a seat, got my breath, and so it's been really hard. It's December 29th, I believe, right now, or 30th. So I'm about 2 months in, and what I can see is that 50% of the people don't recover from the heart problems. That's the statistics. They're seeing it a lot in athletes. If I had to do it over again, I would not have gotten back to exercising so quickly, because I did not know that could exacerbate the heart problems. I would have rested more, and I'm a bit of an exercise addict, so I think that probably didn't help. But I will tell you what's helping me. I am taking vitamin C and zinc and B and D3 and all of that, but not mega doses of anything. This heating pad seems to help my lungs a lot. I don't know if the medicines, the side effects are worse than how much they're helping me. Hot baths, hot drinks. I don't do dairy, so I wouldn't recommend anybody do dairy, because that can make a lot of mucus. I am on a codeine cough syrup at night, and sometimes I take it in the day when I don't have to leave. Just doing all of those things. And one weird thing I have found, and I don't like doing this, but taking 4 ibuprofen seems to help me temporarily get my breath. And I can only attribute that to inflammation. I found an article somewhere that said anti-inflammatories can help. So that has seemed to help me. If you are a long-haul COVID patient yourself and you would like to share below, but yes, I am doing all the typical things you see with the vitamins. I also looked at lung health, like I'm eating apples, green tea. I eat tons of greens for the nitrous oxide to protect my endothelium, or the lining of my arteries and blood vessels, so that they don't get more damaged. But yeah, those are the things I'm doing. I am doing gentle yoga and meditation, no other exercise. I don't put my hands over my head hardly. I don't get my heart rate up. My heart rate also has been staying high. It was around 69, 68 prior to this, and now it stays between 70 and 100 from doing nothing. My blood pressure also will drop about 20 points sometimes when I stand up, and I can feel that. There's a lot of dizziness. So you may see me out and about if you're watching this and you know me. I'm just having to pace myself. Like, I'm usually that really optimistic, hey, I'm doing great, how are you? And lately people are like, how are you doing? I'm like, not so good. So anyway, please feel free to leave your comments below and let me know if you have any questions or if you have anything you'd like to share with me about your experience if you're a long haul COVID survivor. Take care, and I especially want to know if some of you have gotten out of the woods on this because it's quite depressing. Thank you. Bye-bye.